Hi, I'm Matthew Pitts, and I'm a registered psychotherapist working out of Ontario. When I work with couples for couples therapy, I always start with one individual 50-minute session with each of the partners. That's 50 minutes, just under an hour. And each of these individual sessions is a lot like a regular psychotherapy session. And what is the purpose of that? It allows me to get the perspective of each of the individual partners one-on-one. And this takes place before the couples therapy sessions start. I explain that these sessions are confidential, they're private, they're subject to the same rules as any other session, except that there's no secrets held between the partner and myself and the other partner. So basically, anything that we discuss one-on-one in those individual sessions can then be shared by either myself or the partner once they get into the couple sessions. They're not watertight in that sense, but they remain confidential. Once the individual sessions are done, we then move into the couples sessions. These are 80 minutes long. They're longer than the typical 50-minute individual session. They're longer than the individual sessions that we would have just have had on a one-on-one basis. Why are these sessions longer? It's to make space and recognize that in every one of our couples sessions, there's 3 of us. And 50 minutes can go by pretty quickly in a 3-person couples session. 80 minutes is longer naturally, and I try to the extent possible to make enough space so that each partner can feel that they've had adequate time to express themselves and hopefully be heard, and so that they don't feel rushed. What can we talk about in a couples session? Basically, we can talk about anything, so long as both partners, the couple, is comfortable talking about it. Ours is a collaborative enterprise, but perhaps even more important is that it is a consensual one. Everyone has to be okay talking about what we're talking about. That doesn't mean that we can't talk about difficult topics. We certainly can. That also doesn't mean that this is a space that one partner is not allowed to criticize the other. That can happen, and that can be okay, but abuse goes too far, and it's not something that I'm comfortable with in my sessions. When I work with couples, we operate in an environment where, for me at least, there is unconditional positive regard. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that I necessarily agree with everything that every individual believes or wants to do, but that's not the point. I make space for the uniqueness of each individual and recognize that they have agency. They are the experts in and of themselves, and this is a safe space vis-a-vis myself and my clients, where we can explore matters without having to worry about whether I'm judging them. I'm not into that. I am into creating an environment where there are certain very important values. What are some of those values? One is respect. Another is empathy. Another is curiosity and slowing things down so that we really do have the time to explore what we're feeling, what our goals are, what some of the challenges might be, to have that opportunity where partners can have that chance to not just hear one another, but something more, maybe even understand one another. When I work with couples, I like to explain that I wear, in a sense, 3 hats. The first is as a kind of moderator, the second as host, and the third as translator. What does it mean to be the moderator of couples sessions? I like to explain it as a kind of air traffic control role. I invite one partner to speak, then another. I'll offer opportunities for partners to express their reactions to what they've just heard, or to express how they're feeling about something or a thought that they may have had. I'm mindful of sharing the space as the three of us in this role. And it's important for partners not only to be heard, but to have the chance to feel that they can be understood in these sessions. What this means is sometimes I interrupt, and this can be in order to take advantage of an opportunity that I feel has come up, or where not interrupting could undermine a goal of the therapy. But it's never meant to be domineering. It's never meant to be anything other than helpful. The next role I have is as host. We are, in a very real sense, in my sandbox. It's a different experience than couples will experience in their own homes or in other environments when they're together. For many couples, it may be the first time that they've ever experienced couples therapy. For some, it may be the first time they've ever experienced therapy at all. The third role is as translator. What does that mean? In this role, I reformulate, repackage what a partner has just said, hopefully in a way that can be better understood by the other partner. It's been my experience that in couples, someone may have been saying the same thing or a variation on the same thing multiple times, maybe over months, maybe years, possibly even decades, maybe never feeling understood. And in this role as translator, I reformulated, hopefully in a way capturing the emotional content, perhaps even the symbolic content, maybe even the unconscious content, and in a way, hopefully, that their partner can better grasp to bridge that understanding gap. What is my role in couples therapy? Let's start with what it isn't. I don't see my role as creating connection between partners in a couple. I don't feel I have that power. That power lies within the partners themselves, within the couple themselves. Instead, my role is to create an environment where that connection can be facilitated, where that connection can be more likely. As host, as moderator, as translator, in an environment of unconditional positive regard, where each of the partners is viewed and acknowledged as a mature individual with their own choices, their own ideas, their own agency. In addition to that, I add communication tools and other tools, other approaches where necessary to really help facilitate that connection, build that environment, and in some cases help rebuild the friendship, rebuild the level of trust, rebuild that connection.